it's interesting because, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while.
Yep.
And there was some talk between Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
Really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than...
As new rumors and revelations regarding the involvement of a legendary music mobile artist, Diddy, surface, the tension surrounding the mysterious case of Shakur's abrupt departure has increased. Could one of the biggest names in the entertainment industry be linked to one of hip-hop's most notorious moments? They are both shocking and contentious, and now a former insider topper has come forward with allegations that have the potential to upend the fundamental basis of this long-standing enigma.
Even if the accusations are false, there's two ways to go about these cases. Either one, you do the economic analysis, right? What is this going to cost me? Where is it going? How much am I going to lose? All these different things, even if it's false, right? How much are the attorneys going to cost me?
Competition. This wasn't just about music or success, it was a personal topper. It was a chilling moment when he mentioned Shakur as one of his musical inspirations during a conversation with Diddy. The mobile's response was nothing short of icy. When I mentioned Shakur's name, Top disclosed that the man stopped talking to me for days. The tension was evident and a monument to the unsaid feud that appeared to continue for years after Shakur's death. He went a step further, suggesting that Diddy's current legal issues might be connected to an ongoing investigation into Shakur's case, which has gained renewed momentum with the arrest of Dwayne K.D. Davis. This revelation, while shocking, is by no means the only thread in the complex web of allegations surrounding Diddy Chopper's interview.
Are being treated differently.
I got older and my mom just continued to say the same thing, and she never changed the name. She always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? As I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid, so...
Keffi D, a purportedly important participant in the events of that fateful night in Las Vegas, has long maintained that Diddy was instrumental in planning the assault on Tupac Chopper. He conjectured that the authorities may be attempting to link Diddy to both his recent charges and the unsolved mystery surrounding Tupac's tragic demise.
Name, she always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? As I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid, so it's like now my mom never lied to me, so why not?
When you take into account Diddy's current situation, this theory becomes much more compelling. The music entrepreneur, who was once among the most influential people in the business, is now embroiled in a number of grave accusations that have put him in jail without the ability to post bail, and the charges against him have nothing to do with the Shakur case. He hinted to a more extensive probe that would connect Diddy to earlier incidents, saying that Chopper thinks there's a wider picture at work and that they're keeping him in because they're trying to piece it all together. Although it's a big claim, it fits with the increasing number of people who are wondering about Diddy's involvement in the most persistent mystery in the hip-hop industry.
So we just fought it. It was never to chase anyone or make anyone feel like, we just trying to come up with a plan to take your money. I don't want your money. That's not what I'm here for. I'm really here to just find the truth out. And it seemed like that was just so hard to do in these courts.
Diddy's legal issues have been widely publicized, casting a long shadow over his once celebrated legacy. There are many serious charges against him, including accusations of misconduct and running complex schemes for personal gain, but what has really captured attention are the rumors that he was involved in Shakur's case. Could it be that the same man who made his fortune with hit songs and parties bigger than life is also connected to one of the worst periods in music history? The mere possibility would be enough to rock the industry.
A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Busby's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. Busby's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people, we're going to do all this, because he wants to put that fear into that individual.
He didn't hesitate to address the elephant in the room, the long-running suspicions about Diddy's participation in Shakur's case for years, by crafting a story that is equal parts captivating and unnerving. These rumors have proliferated due to vague assertions, unsubstantiated allegations, and the case's ongoing status. However, Chopper went a step further in his interview, implying that there may be information that might implicate Diddy, which he says the authorities are trying to uncover.
Here.
Basically, my mom was at a show and she was with a friend. And I guess her and her friend stayed to, after the show, he was doing little signings and little autographs and stuff like that. I guess he wasn't too big, but I guess females, when the show is over, you can sign little autographs and stuff like that, talk to the people who perform. She said she went up there.
The FBI's mention is noteworthy because it implies a level of investigation that goes beyond years of speculative supposition. Could it be that the elements of the puzzle behind Shakur's abrupt departure are finally fitting together? Although unconfirmed, Chopper's revelations suggested a more thorough study that might provide fresh insight into the events of 1996 in Las Vegas. Audiences who have long been captivated by the mystery surrounding Shakur's legacy are drawn in by this story, which is both compelling and controversial.
He took them to some apartment building, and they did what they did in there. Talked a little bit, had a good time, party, and I guess I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. And I honestly just believe it. It's just no doubt.
For his part, Diddy has consistently denied any involvement in the events leading up to Shakur's passing back in 2008. When a report from a major publication suggested a connection between him and the incident, he was quick to issue a statement saying that the story is a lie and that it is completely false and absurd. He went on to say that neither he nor the late, infamous B knew of the attack, but as the years have passed, those denials haven't done much to stop the rumors. If anything, the recent developments have only rekindled speculation, with Chopper's interview acting as the most recent chapter in a story that never goes away, which is what makes Chopper's claims particularly compelling. In the context of the case, KD's arrest in 2023 was a watershed moment that brought the events of that night in Las Vegas back into the public eye. According to KD's own remarks over the years have been a combination of pointed charges and cryptic admissions, with Diddy's name being brought up regularly. Diddy allegedly offered a sizable payment to plan the attack on Shakur. This accusation has been greeted with both suspicion and interest. Now that Chopper's interview has added another dimension to the story, Diddy's profile has become even more prominent.
I don't have no felonies, I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything, so, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
Chopper hypothesized that Diddy's Denny bail isn't just about his present legal issues but also about the possible connections to Shakur's case, which they're keeping him in because they know there's more to the story, and that the police are now catching up with the truth. According to Chopper, it's a bold assertion that begs more questions than it does answers. Is the court system preparing for a breakthrough in one of the most notorious mysteries in hip-hop, or is this just another chapter in the lengthy tale of intrigue and conjecture? In any case, if the accusations are true, it could permanently alter how we perceive Diddy's legacy, one of the most well-known musicians, who is already facing severe. Shakur's family and supporters may find closure in a case that has plagued the hip-hop culture for almost 30 years as scrutiny faces an unprecedented reckoning.
Be something I really would want to find out because, in the future.
But the story will remain one of conjecture and unresolved questions until more solid proof comes to light. Although compelling, Chopper's interview is only one piece of a much bigger puzzle, but it has rekindled public interest in the case by highlighting the unresolved nature of Shakur's death and the accusations made against Diddy. As the investigation goes on, all eyes are on the authorities to see if these new revelations will lead to the truth or just add another layer to the mystery. For the time being, the story of Shakur's death and the circulating accusations about Sho Diddy Cows enthrall us with their drama and promise of answers that have eluded us for far too long. Era that's as iconic as it is controversial. The East Coast versus West Coast rap rivalry. This wasn't just a battle of beats or lyrics. Two of the most significant figures in hip-hop history, Shakur and the infamous B with Diddy and Shite fanting the flames in the background, were at the center of a cultural war that defined the 1990s. But was this rivalry simply a marketing ploy gone too far, or was there something more sinister going on, and where does Diddy fit into it all? Let's examine the chaos that ensued and how it permanently altered the music industry.
Hope. I would hope he would think about it and this would be in his mind, but I wouldn't actually know what another person is feeling.
The West Coast had the swagger with artists like Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg dominating the charts under the Death Row Records banner, while the East Coast led by Bad Boy Records was riding high on the success of the Notorious B, also known as Biggie, whose groundbreaking debut album was a huge hit. On the surface, it might have seemed like healthy competition between the coasts, but tensions were simmering behind the scenes, and it didn't take long for things to boil over. Hip-hop was exploding in popularity back in the mid-1990s.
It's not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right, we'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles.
The West Coast had the swagger with artists like Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg dominating the charts under the Death Row Records banner, while the East Coast led by Bad Boy Records was riding high on the success of the Notorious B, also known as Biggie, whose groundbreaking debut album was a huge hit. On the surface, it might have seemed like healthy competition between the coasts, but tensions were simmering behind the scenes, and it didn't take long for things to boil over. Hip-hop was exploding in popularity back in the mid-1990s.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
One pivotal event in 1994, when Shakur was ambushed and hurt in a violent brawl at Quad Studios in New York, is the source of the hostility between the two sides. In an interview with Vibe magazine, Tupac famously blamed Bad Boy Records and its oats for having knowledge of the attack beforehand or, worse, for setting him up. According to Shakur, Biggie and Diddy were both at the studio that evening and appeared suspiciously aloof in the aftermath. The scene was set for what would turn out to be one of the most acrimonious rivalries in music history when Shakur said, "No one approached me, no one looked at me, they just stood there like they were surprised, like they were caught off guard." While Diddy denied any involvement, Shakur's accusations drew a line in the sand. Despite Biggie's claim that the song had nothing to do with Shakur, the release of the song Who Shot Ye in the months after the incident only served to stoke the flames. Biggie claimed that the timing of the song was too perfect or suspicious for Shakur and his supporters to believe otherwise, and Shakur saw it as a direct taunt from Bad Boy Records mocking him after his ordeal. If there was one thing Shakur was known for, it was refusing to back down from a fight.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious.
When Tupac joined Death Row Records in 1995 after being released from prison, the rivalry reached a whole new level. Suge Knight, the menacing leader of Death Row, wasted no time in making fun of Diddy and Bad Boy during the 1995 Source Awards. Standing on stage, Shake called out Diddy without mentioning him by name, saying, "Any artist out there that wants to stay a star and doesn't want their executive producer all up in the videos, all on the records, come to Death Row." It was a clear jab at Diddy, who was known for his ostentatious appearance in his artist music videos, and it sent the audience into a frenzied.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, "Yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again." That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
He took the stage later that night. Dodie attempted to act morally, at least in public, calling for unity and saying that all of this East and West stuff needed to stop. However, behind closed doors, the rivalry was anything but peaceful, with both labels escalating tensions through subliminal disses in their music or outright provocations in interviews. As the battle lines were drawn, fans and artists alike were forced to choose sides. You were either Team Shakur or Team Biggie. There was no middle ground. However, the rivalry wasn't just about music, it was also personal. Shakur's resentment toward Diddy and Biggie wasn't just based on business rivalry, it was fueled by betrayal, or at least what Shakur perceived as diss track beat him up for betraying him. Shakur targeted Diddy, Bad Boy Records, and anyone even somewhat connected to them in addition to Biggie. The song was unrepentant and vicious. Shakur wanted to humiliate his opponents in addition to winning the fight. He even made a shocking claim that rocked the industry. He had slept with Biggie's wife Faith Evans. This wasn't simply a diss song, it was a declaration of war. The East Coast and West Coast were fighting for cultural supremacy as well as dominance in hip-hop, and media outlets were crucial in igniting the flames by publishing sensational headlines and portraying the feud as a contemporary gang war. Although Diddy and Shite may not have been the ones setting off the events, their rivalry set the stage for the chaos that ensued. It was a poisonous mixture of street politics and ego ambition, and it was only a matter of time until things took a tragic turn. The tipping point occurred in September 1996 when Shakur was attacked in Las Vegas. The circumstances surrounding the incident were still unclear, but one thing is certain: the fallout was enormous. The two biggest performers of their generation passed away in Los Angeles 6 months later in March 1997, leaving the hip-hop community in shock. Although the music continued to be played, the questions surrounding their last moments remained unanswered. And this is where Diddy's involvement rumors resurface. For years, there have been conspiracy theories regarding who was responsible for the accidents. Some blame Suge Knight, who had his own motivations for seeking retribution, while others blame Diddy, who has made unsubstantiated claims that he offered a sizable sum to plan an attack on Shakur. One of the most tenacious theories involves Dwayne K. Davis, who has publicly stated that he was involved in the night Shakur was attacked. The plan was started by Diddy, who allegedly provided resources for the task to be completed. Although these allegations have never been proven, they have persisted in tarnishing Diddy's legacy and putting a shadow over his rapid ascent to popularity, but the rivalry had an impact on more than just the music sector. The effects of the fallout went much beyond the studio, impacting everything from social movements to fashion and movies to the East Coast versus West Coast divide. Feud evolved into a cultural phenomenon and a symbol of division that reflected the larger social tensions of the day. Decades later, its effects are still evident. Although Diddy has consistently denied any involvement in the events involving Shakur and Biggie, the rumors about him and the recent arrest of KD have only intensified. Could the authorities finally be getting to the truth? Or is this just another chapter in a story that has been tainted by rumors and misinformation? Diddy's role in the rivalry is still a hotly debated topic. It's evident that the rivalry between the East Coast and West Coast was about more than just music. It was also about power, influence, and the extent people would go to defend their empires. For Diddy, this was a period of enormous success but also controversy, and as the investigations go on, the world is left wondering what secrets may still be revealed and whether the man who created one of the most prosperous music empires is also linked to its darkest periods. Ask questions, express your thoughts, and let's continue the discussion until the next time. Watch this space for additional developments on this unfolding tale. For now, goodbye.